Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to put a metal gear kit inside of rebuild my son's servo for his Slash. He's got a Slash 2-wheel drive. He's 5 years old, so he's been driving since he was like 3.5, and he's pretty good, but he goes full throttle quite a bit because he enjoys crashing. And the servo finally crapped out on him. I think it just chipped a tooth or a gear or something inside of it because it got a little twitchy. But Traxxas makes the rebuild kit. Looks kind of like this here. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in. I had another servo laying around, a couple of Amazon cheap ones. They're like 20 bucks or something. They work great for the price, but if you're a true Traxxas fan and you only like Traxxas stuff and you don't want to change from Traxxas, then they offer a rebuild kit. So let's take a look and see what's involved. I've done it before, but it's been a year and a half, so I can't quite remember how it goes. And this time I'm on a video so you can see how it goes. So this is his current setup. It's standard Traxxas Slash. I did up this buggy body for him. He enjoys it. I think it turned out pretty cool. Looks good. I painted it with simple. They crack a lot right here, so tape, Gorilla Tape and things will help save it. But yeah, these buggy bodies, they like to crack and stuff. This is the servo I just popped in there because I had them laying around. It's a 25 kilogram DS servo, digital servo. It works. We didn't want to stop playing that day when it broke, so I just slapped this one in there, and then I'm going to rebuild the other one so I can have that one on the shelf for whenever this one decides to crap out. So first I'm gonna just plug in the old servo, or not the old one, but the one that broke. This is a standard 2075 servo. They come stock in these things. I gotta take this cover off, and I'm gonna plug this thing in and show you what it's doing, and then we're gonna open her up and see what's inside, and hopefully get her running again so I can have one back on the parts counter and have one ready to go for the next time it breaks. I took the cover off. It's just 2 screws. Take the cover off. I'm gonna unplug this current servo that's in the truck. Maybe. Sure. Something like that. There we go. So that comes out. I'm gonna plug in the broken one. So on these trucks, a good rule of thumb is, if you forget for some reason, is they say 1 to turn, 2 to burn. So I heard that a while ago, and I thought that was always interesting saying. So you plug in your servo into slot number 1 on your stock Traxxas receiver, and then now we're going to plug in the battery, and you'll see what we're experiencing. We have the battery plugged in now. Remote is turned on. Let's fire this thing up. Oh, God damn it. Put this crappy little fan on here from Traxxas, and it works, but it's the bearings on it or something are going. So yeah, whatever. It works. It's yeah, I don't know. It does what it does. I guess it moves some sort of air. But I'm gonna shut that off for now because I don't want to hear it. What the fuck? So you'll hear the servo is completely trashed. Like it's not doing anything. So yeah, we're gonna take it apart and see. Yeah. All right. So next. Let's open this thing up before it decides to completely kill itself, and we'll see if we can fix it. So what you're gonna need for this particular servo is a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that have to come out. Okay, we have the 4 screws out. Let's, oh hey, look at that. That looks like something I don't want to touch, so we're gonna put that back and see if this separates somewhere else. Yep. So it separates from the top. There's a cover. There's a gasket. And then you have a bunch of gears. So we're gonna go ahead and start pulling stuff apart and see what happens. Okay, so that just comes out. Looks like there's a bearing in there too. I don't know if it's, maybe it's not a broken gear. Oh, yep, there it is. All right, so see that big old gash there where it's missing teeth? That's gonna be the culprit right there. So we're gonna pull them all off one at a time. And you know damn well I ain't gonna remember how these go back, so this should be interesting. All right, so you get all these fancy gears here. So we get to try and piece this together. Okay, so this pin actually comes out. So there's a pin that goes through the top of that gear, and that's what gets it to come out. I guess wiping it down won't hurt, so we'll clean it up a little bit. All right, now we're just gonna start putting this back together. So you take your little thin gear, the thin big one, and you're gonna put that in the very first thing. You're gonna take your pin and put it through the center until you find the hole. Okay. So that one's in now. Now I think you may want to change over this bearing here if you have one. I don't know if I do, so I'm gonna look and see. So I didn't have one, so I took the bearing and the O-ring off of the plastic original one, and I just transferred it over to the metal one. There's also a bearing down below that needs to come out if you're gonna reuse it, which I will, because I don't have any other ones. So we're gonna take this one out and put it into the, transfer it over to the metal one also. So before installing that bearing, you have to put this plastic piece in there, and it has to be in the right orientation. It fits into these little slots down in there. Then the bearing goes in. Okay, now you're set to put this piece onto the servo, or into the servo. So this is gonna go next, I think. You know, it comes with instructions, so don't worry, guys. But I'm trying to figure this out without doing it the easy way. So there is a little thing here, like a nub. So we're gonna see if that has to go in any specific way. It's right here. I'm sure it does. Okay, so this little hi-hat looking thing is gonna be the next one to go on. And it goes on. So first you have your little thin gear that goes on. Put the pin back in the middle of the thin gear. Now you have your hi-hat looking gear. That's gonna go on next onto the metal rod, not the plastic piece. Okay, so that lines up. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put this silver looking gear, and the little nub has to go facing outwards. So now you have that facing outwards. Looks like you may have to put this piece on before the bearing and the rubber piece. So we're gonna take those back off. We're gonna slide this guy on. he seems to almost be fitting into place. There we go. Now we're gonna put the bearing and the rubber piece back on to the all silver gear. And now I think we have a fully rebuilt servo. So I think we're gonna have to shove some grease in there somewhere because it had some in there before I took it apart. And then we're gonna plug it back in and see if it still makes that ungodly noise or if it's gonna work. All right, folks, so now we are out with the old and with the new. I got her kind of cleaned up somewhat, back to good again. Now the moment of truth. Does it work? So let's go ahead and plug her in to slot number 1. Gonna power on the controller. And I'm a little nervous here. Let's see what happens. Oh, hey, look at that. It's quiet. Now let's see if it's gonna move. Yep, she's moving, Captain. Whoa. Yep, that's about right for a Traxxas. So now we can throw this thing on the shelf and have a spare ready to roll. Well guys, thanks for watching. You're either gonna be super confused from this video or maybe it'll be helpful, I don't know. It comes with instructions, you know, come on now. I mean, you could figure it out. If you've been messing with the Traxxas or RC cars at all, you may or may not have ever opened up a servo, but now you can see at least what it looks like and what's going on in there. Super easy to do. That kit was like 19 bucks and a new servo is like 23 bucks or something from Amazon. So is it worth it? I don't know. But like I said, hopefully you're not confused and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and stay tuned for whatever comes next. God knows. Thank you.